दिख गया दिख गया दिख गया। ये देखो मुंह खोल के बैठा हुआ है, बस मुंह वगैरह बाहर रहने देते। वो चला गया देखकर, मुझे शर्मा जाते हैं भाई लोग। ये लोग देख रहे हो, छोटू भाई साहब हमारे, देखो पास में आइए। हेलो, मैं थोड़ा जूम कर देता हूँ तो आपको दिखेगा।
In terms of safety, as you guys can see, there's only one piece of fence between you and these big beasts as well. Straight into where he normally lives, which is right here. What a crocodile stalking and attacking humans. But if you do something silly,
ऐसे ही दांत थे। तो भाई हो गया है टूर, ठीक है जी। भाई स्पेशल वार्निंग यहाँ पे लिखी होती है, ठीक है ना, आई से आई कांटेक्ट नहीं करना। और ठीक है, ये देखो एक ये जैसे ये पानी में मड में मोस्टली क्रोकोडाइल्स रहते हैं, शायद यहाँ पे बीच में भी हो, बट वो देखो नान ऐसे हमला करते हैं भाई। ये अंदर चला गया देखते सारी, ठीक है। तो ये सीन होता है, एक उसके साथ मेरा क्रोकोडाइल। भाई बहुत ख़तरनाक होते हैं जो भी है ये जीव, क्रोकोडाइल है मतलब जो भी क्या। ये खाली पड़ा है मेरे हिसाब से पूल, मतलब इन्होंने बांटे हुए हैं मोस्टली। जो आगे वाले हैं ना वहाँ पे भरे हुए थे भाई, वहाँ पे मतलब गंदे वाले भरे हुए थे। और नीचे मोस्टली तो ये लोग मड के अंदर रहते हैं। सांप वाँप नहीं है यहाँ पे, मैं सोच रहा सांप वाँप भी हो। एक वहाँ पे रहा, हाँ वो भी घूम रहा है वहाँ पे। हर मतलब छोटा छोटा पूल है ये। दिख गया दिख गया दिख गया। ये देखो मुंह खोल के बैठा हुआ है दीदी, भाई साहब मुंह खोल के बैठे हुए हैं। सो रहा है जाग रहा है पता नहीं, देख रहे हो। ये देखो, तो भाई ये रहा मैं और ये रहा क्रोकोडाइल, ठीक है जी, देख रहे हो। तो भाई ये जितने पॉन्ड्स हैं ना, ये लेफ़्ट साइड में, वो राइट साइड में छोटे छोटे पॉन्ड्स बने हुए हैं यहाँ पे, ठीक है। सब जगह क्रोकोडाइल ही क्रोकोडाइल है। अभी तो मैं यहाँ पे, अभी और ही बंदे वहाँ पे बैठ गए थे आगे। तो भाई अभी वहाँ पे छोटा क्रोकोडाइल है, वो पकड़ना अभी मेन तो वो है भाई। रेस्ट अभी वापस भी जाते हैं। ये देखो ऐसे ये लोग ना मड के अंदर मुँह घुसा लेते अपना बॉडी, बस मुंह वगैरह बाहर रहने देते। वो चला गया देखकर, मुझे शर्मा जाते हैं भाई लोग। ये लोग कितना गंदे हो भाई, नहाए नहीं हो। वहाँ चलते हैं, इस साइड तो मैं चला गया। ब्राउन इसके बारे में लिखा हुआ है, ब्राउन कैमन। अब वो कौन है भाई, मेक्सिको में पाया जाता है ये, ठीक है। अब वो मुझे भाई साहब तो नहीं दिख रहे इधर कहीं पे। अच्छा है, मुझे ही नहीं दिखा। ये रहा छोटू, देख रहे हो, छोटू भाई साहब हमारे। हेलो हेलो, ये रहा। ये तो देखा ही नहीं मैंने छुटकू को। पैन कितने तेरे, देख रहे हो, हाँ, आराम से अकेला बैठा हुआ है। थोड़ा जूम कर देता हूँ तो देखिएगा। ये देखा भाई साहब हमारे, ये वाला तोता वाला एरिया तो कवर कर लिया था। दूसरी जगह देखते हैं, यहाँ पे कोई भी नहीं है। इनके जाली छोटे छोटे हैं, मतलब छोटे हैं ना बेचारे, तो छोटे रह गए थे इसलिए। उस साइड जाके देखते हैं क्या है भाई। 20 रुपये मोस्टली तो इतना कुछ मेरा क्रोकोडाइल है जो मैंने मूल जो इधर लोग देखने आते हैं भाई, क्रोकोडाइल ही क्रोकोडाइल। एक उस तरफ जालियाँ वालियाँ लगी हुई हैं, देखते हैं जाके उस तरफ। अच्छा तितर गया है भाई। अरे ये तो देखा ही नहीं, इसको छोड़, ये बड़ा जानवर तो रह गया। ये देखो क्या है ये बताओ, ये देखो ये कौन है, सदर्न कॉस्वे। तो भाई लिखा हुआ है बर्ड कितनी पुरानी है। ये रही, देखो पास में आई है। हेलो, देखने के लिए कि मैं देखूँ भाई मुझे। तो इसमें लेस देन 1000 बर्ड, ये जो बर्ड है ना सिर्फ 1000 से कम रहेगी भाई, ज़्यादा नहीं है, बहुत कम बर्ड है। देख रहे हो कैसे है। और ये नकली है भाई, इसको असली मत समझना, ये नकली है क्योंकि उसके वहाँ वाला असली है। इतने बड़े बड़े हैं तो बेटर आई थिंक अब चलते हैं। एक ये रहा, ये फ्लाई नहीं कर सकते। ये देख लो आप कौन है, फर्स्ट अपीयर इन अर्थ सम 2000 मिलियंस ईयर्स अगो। इतना पुराना है भाई ये, देखो भाई। मैं थोड़ा जूम कर देता हूँ तो आपको दिखेगा। वाओ, ये मैंने नहीं पहले देखे, ये स्पीसीज पहले नहीं देखे गए। ये तो अपने कबूतर हैं भाई, तितरों को बांध के रखा हुआ है, देख रहे हो। ये पंख पीछे से खोलने वाले तितर हैं, इनके पंख पीछे से सारे खोले हुए हैं। लोग लाइन लगे हैं देखने के लिए।
Rightio guys, how are we today? Beautiful afternoon. Really aggressive females and always aggressive male crocodiles. So in terms of safety, as you guys can see, there's only one piece of fence between you and these big beasts as well. So, you know, common sense has to prevail. If you get too close to the fence and it decides to come and say hello, it can really do a fair bit of damage. So you always want to stay back about an arm's length, especially when he's right there on the fence. Of course, no fingers through the fence. Make sure you watch out for the little wallaby-sized explorers, because especially up in the back road, all of those big wild-caught crocodiles have been out in the wild hunting for 20 or 30 years, so they know what they're doing, and sometimes they like to investigate the little tiny options as well. And in terms of filming, you guys can take all the pictures you want in the world, but again, there's a large crocodile right on the fence line. Don't get too close to the fence. Yesterday, there was a bloke right on the fence and the female launched at the fence and smacked his camera into his face. So, you know, if you got him on the fingers, it would have been pretty bad. The female's super aggressive. And also, guys, if there's a big croc on the fence line, you know, don't film over the fence either, because if he looks up and sees you holding something over the fence, you know, he's not going to care if that's a piece of chicken or your phone or anything else. He's going to come up with a lot more speed and power than what you're going to be used to as well. So in terms of safety, that was the safety conscious part of that chat done. If you guys are interested in fashion, you want a lovely crocodile inspired design on the front of your t-shirt, stand over there in the adventure zone. You might get a great big tail whip from one of these animals and you're going to get covered in nice hot mud. So again, I can't promise or guarantee it, but that's the spot where you might get wet. Otherwise, the little feed bait here is generally going to be for our little wallaby-sized explorers. Smaller people, kids, obviously they get more safety, that's a bit higher, but of course if there's enough space, by all means jump up there. Around the side here, it's a nice shady spot, and again you're not safe from getting splashed, and nowhere is safe in the whole park as well. So of course, make sure you watch out for your own. Welcome guys, so welcome to Long Lake. We've got our big boy just starting to come in now. He's one of our big dominant crocodiles. He's going to come up over here, straight into where he normally lives, which is right here. Of course, we have a lot of large, dominant crocodiles in here, but in Long Lake, all of these crocodiles are the same age. They're all 33 years old. Varying sizes, and I guess varying levels of aggression, but in the wild, and also in here, saltwater crocodiles, or Crocodylus porosus, is the most aggressive of the crocodilian species. He's also super territorial, so he doesn't want to share his space, he doesn't want to share his girlfriends, and especially his food. In here, it's a bit of a different story. Like we said, all these guys are 33 years old, but they were all born in captivity, and they were introduced to this pen here about 7 years old. So again, now they're 33. It's taken them this many years to figure out their hierarchical system. We've got some pretty dominant crocodiles, all the way down to crocs who may not have lived in the wild and then still grown to be an adult size in here as well. So again, there's no predators except for each other. And like what you see here, they still tolerate each other, but that level of aggression and especially the territorial nature has been suppressed way down after one generation out from the wild. So scientifically, as an experiment, it's kind of interesting to see that, but of course they're still grumpy predators, and we've got some large ones as well. Of course, these animals are pretty amazing for what they do. They've got some amazing eyesight. They can see about as far as we can in terms of colour and distance, but also they've got that amazing night vision as well. Of course, he is a nocturnal ambush predator. He's an apex predator, but at the moment, there's a large piece of chicken flying past. He's easily going to see that and catch it straight off the pull. Because you're a good boy, aren't you? Up the back there, here you go, come on. That was terrible. We do have some chunks of beef here with some large bones in them. And again, although they got some pretty strong teeth, these animals have the strongest bite force of any land animal today. Of course, he's semi-aquatic, but some of these crocodiles, like this one here, for example, at his size, nearly 4 metres, he's going to have about 1.5 tonnes of bite force. It's incredible to think about that. So a little bit of bone like this is no problem, and you're going to get a treat. Here you go, buddy. Come on, you can come get it. Come on. Come on. He'll crunch that down. But as you can see, when it's time to move, they come up pretty fast. He doesn't want to waste his energy. These animals have been around for 250 million years, and this is what they do. They hang around and wait until there's a reason to move. And as we can see, this is pretty well behaved animals. There's not too much biffo going on. They still, like we say, tolerate each other. If you have a look around though, you may see a couple of these guys are missing feet, missing a few limbs. Our big boy's coming up now, and of course, he's normally sitting right here. So maybe he comes a day off, but and these guys want a bit of a breathe, comfortable. So that big bloke again, he's huge. He's the same age as everybody else, but he's smart enough to know that the feed bay is here and this is where he normally lives. It's a bit of an upset today, but we've got another crocodile about his size as well. There's quite a few large ones in here for their age, and we call this guy the Loch Ness Monster. He's a massive big old crocodile, and he sits in the water just over here. That's his little territory, and he protects that quite a lot. He's got a couple of mates he allows into that territory, but I didn't mention, in here, of course, we had originally 70 crocodiles. 60 were male and 10 female. So when it comes to breeding, only the largest and most aggressive dominant crocodiles are going to be the ones to win. And of course, this bloke, actually, we've got a mate going in there right now, so he's probably going to get beaten up. I might wait for that guy to get beaten up or not. But again, of the 10 females, at least 4 girls have chosen him as a boyfriend. And again, it just means that we throw extra food in over there and they get protection. Oh, there he is right there, the big boy. So of course we throw a bit of food in for him, the old Loch Ness Monster. We never really see him up on the land. And again, of the 10 females, at least 4 have chosen him as well. Here you go, bud. Come on. So genetically, again, he's a bit bigger. But again, he's obviously a lot more dominant, and he probably bullied his way to more food as well. So exponentially, he grew a bit larger. Here you go, buddy. Come on, over here, come on. Good film. Otherwise, a bit of beef here, you're going to have one. A bit of bone there. Now, of course, we've got some pretty grumpy crocs here. A lot of competition. And a bit of smell there too. So we always try to feed all of our crocodiles, but we like to focus on the females at the moment because, of course, the girls are right in their breeding cycle, and if they haven't laid eggs now, they're getting right close to it. We got one little female just here, and you can tell that's a girl one because she's beating up the bloke, but of course she's a lot smaller than the males. She won't grow past 3 meters in length. And of course, looking at her face, she's nice and clean too. There's no scars on her face because she doesn't need to fight. Although, if she gets too close to the boys, they don't like to share their food. So again, she could get a nasty bite. Another female just here. There you go, sweetheart. That's yours. Here you go, buddy. Come on. So we always try to feed everybody here, although it's not always possible because, of course, we have too many crocodiles and not enough food. So always try to throw a bit of food out the back there. So these dominant crocodiles, sure, but these ones out the back here just aren't as aggressive and don't want to come up here because, of course, they're never going to win that fight. So So we try and throw a little bit out for extra females. Otherwise you're going to get some here, buddy. Come get it. Come on. Over here. Big shot. Come on. Over here. How about you? You're going to come get one? Come on. Come on, buddy. Up here. Here you go. You have one over there. Better bit of feeding over here. Oh, this little bloke here. Look at this one just here. He's had his arm broken on his left side. Bit of a shame for him. And of course these guys are really, really good at healing their bodies. Come on. And if they lose their arm in a fight, somebody else sees his leg, thinks it's a nice piece of chicken. We do have that happen. They lose their leg, fair enough. It happens in the wild. It happens here too. It sucks, but he just looks at his hand and says, you know what, it's bleeding. I'm going to stop the blood flow to that part of my body. He can open and close and adjust the valves in his heart at will to stop the blood flow to his body and or move that blood around his body at will as well. So amazing animals for what they do. And again, everything about these animals is absolutely perfect in terms of long-term survival. All right, last bit of chicken. Who's going to have it? You get another piece of boys. So like we said, in terms of a scientific observation, it's really interesting. Can't swim one of these guys. Even if you were the fastest swimmer, maybe Eric the eel would have some issues, but even the fastest Olympic swimmer has no way to get out of this bloke's way if he wants to as well. You're going to come get it? Come on. That's the way. You got another piece of chicken, you're going to come up and get it? Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Come on. That's right. So he's had his one piece of chicken. I've actually got another 2 bits of meat here, but he's come up for one piece. If he's not super hungry, we don't want to overfeed him because, of course, you guys pay good money to see crocodiles come up. If we just gave him food every day, he'd stay in the water and he wouldn't come up at all. And again, his girlfriend isn't hungry at all. But the point is, if you did...
Yeah. Hello.
Good. Hungry? Can you come get some? Good. Good. Have a look at this bloke coming up here. Have a look at his teeth, for example. They've got a lot of really sharp teeth, these little tiny freshwater crocodiles. Alrighty, so welcome guys, welcome to the Australian freshwater crocodiles. We call these guys Australian for a few reasons. Of course, they're only found on the Australian mainland and only in those northern parts of Australia because, of course, he's still a cold-blooded reptile or ectothermic. Means he needs to have an external source of heat, the sun, or at this moment, lovely warm weather we're having here. In the winter time, it's a different story, and they shut their whole bodies down. They lower the heartbeat down to about 1 beat per minute if it's super cold. And like we said, he's going to be functioning around about 20 degrees to be able to digest his food and then get around as well. As we can see, they're a lot smaller than those big saltwater crocodiles, and their scientific name is Crocodilus johnstoni. There was a British guy in the 1800s, came along here and he shot one, of course, and then sent it back home to the UK to be catalogued. His surname was Johnston, and scientifically that's normally how it works. Otherwise, we can see that again they're a lot smaller. They're still pretty tough animals, pretty robust. He's got little tiny bony fragments all the way down his back, and same with those big saltwater crocodiles. They use those as a bit of a solar panel to heat up their body. When we see those big salties, I'm going to show you a bit more detail about them. But otherwise, you can tell by the head, they're a lot smaller too. They've got a really quite a long snout and quite narrow.
God.
Of course, he's a true crocodile. He's got that great brain head. What we just saw was then it was a lovely little tiny strike. And these animals are pretty unique in the way that they can strike at their food 3 times in 1 second. They have a really fast snap rate. And that's pretty handy when you're trying to chase down really small food. As you can see, the size of this guy's mouth is not going to eat a human. We're far too big to be eaten, and that's pretty cool. So what he normally eats is fish, of course, in those creeks and rivers. Fish, little tiny invertebrates, a lot of little tiny can come apart. He's going to easily catch that off the wing. But as you can see, there was a case of mistaken identity there. The other guy got him in the face. There's no problems. They're not trying to hurt each other. And just like the alligators, they're really quite civilised animals. There's no problem with them all, and they're quite civilised and they don't really want to hurt each other. So in large packs like this, No issues at all. Here you go. Come on. Oh, you missed that one. You get a kiss. Some of these big boys can generate about 400 kilograms of bite force. And again, luckily for us, there hasn't been one documented case of a freshwater crocodile stalking and attacking humans. But if you do something silly, you get too close, if you have too many beers and you think it's a good idea to annoy one, you're going to get bitten like Deb. In terms of size and sex, as we can see, these are going to be the larger bullwigs around the front here. A little bit more dominant. They're going to try and have their best spot here in terms of food, but they're going to grow to be about 3 metres long. They won't grow past that length. And the females are going to be a little bit smaller. These ones around the back here are going to be our little females. About 2.5 metres is where they...
दो भाई कोकोलाइट के मुंह से निकल रहे हैं बाहर, देख रहे हो दांत, ऐसे ही दांत थे। तो भाई हो गया है टूर, ठीक है जी। क्रोकोडाइल देख लिया अलग अलग टाइप का, भाई फर्स्ट टाइम मैंने देखे और इट्स बेस्ट एक्सपीरियंस। भाई ऐसा ही होता है कि जब आप ट्रैवल कर रहे हो ना, तो बहुत ज़रूरी है तुम जाके अलग अलग जगह पे जाओ, घूमो, नई नई जगह देखो। तो आई थिंक आपको पसंद आया होगा, ठीक है। अभी जा रहा हूँ मैं घर, ये भाई अपनी गाड़ी। तो भाई अभी निकलता हूँ मैं घर की तरफ, और वो क्रोकोडाइल भाई साहब आपको बहुत पसंद आए होंगे, ठीक है। आपने अच्छे क्रोकोडाइल देखे होंगे, मज़ा आया होगा आपको वीडियो देखकर। मुझे तो बहुत आया भाई, घूमकर इतना मज़ा आता है ना, शायद आपको भी देखकर इस बार मज़ा आया होगा इस वीडियो में एटलीस्ट, है ना। चलो भाई, थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग एंड थैंक्स फॉर गिविंग लव। अभी चलते हैं घर, बहुत गर्मी हो गई है। वो भी एक क्रोकोडाइल और बाकी था, उड़ने वाला कुछ बता रहा था, मैंने ऑलरेडी घूम लिया था, तो लास्ट बाकी था इसलिए। तो चलो अब मैं निकलता हूँ घर, मिलते हैं अगली वीडियो में। एंड कीप फॉलोइंग, सब्सक्राइब एंड यस, जरूर यार सब्सक्राइब किया करो चैनल। अच्छे वीडियोस तो भी ऐसे गर्मी में घूम के डालेंगे ना भाई। ओके जी, मिलते हैं, टेक केयर।